All right, so now we're going to take a look at how. Hold on. All right, come on and. All right, guys. Okay. No. Okay. Sorry. Let's come check out our cabin. So the first thing you'll notice, right, is that this cabin is a pretty small cabin, right? And in order for us to be really efficient with the design, we had to come up with some clever space-saving ideas. So what you'll notice here, right, is our kind of bedroom, right? And what it is an alcove bed, literally built into the side of the wall. And there's this beautiful kind of paper lantern that sits above it that almost is kind of like the moon as you're falling asleep. This, window right here, so that way, when you wake up in the morning, you kind of get this some early morning light. You can sit up, you can have a cup of coffee and kind of read in bed, and you can literally look directly out the window into the forest.
This little nook here has been a little stage for lots of bedtime stories and morning coffees and lots of snuggles. So it's a really cozy little spot that sort of opens into the main area, so you don't even really feel like you're in this little closed off section, because you're really not. You're kind of exposed to the larger studio area of the space.
And then behind this door right here is our son and daughter's bedroom. It's a little bit messy right now, so we're not going to take a look at the chaos that's going on in there. We love this tapestry, right? Little man, with the moon, holding the moon. Is he holding a phone? Who knows? This is art. And also it's functional because behind it, woo! Ta-da, is the breaker panel. Who wants to see the breaker panel? We'd much rather see the tapestry.
Everybody needs one though, so.
Exactly.
It's there.
So, in all of our designs, right, what we've done is we've really just tried to make the communal space, the living space, and the kitchen space as big as possible, right? So our alcove bed, is our idea of saving space and giving more space over to where people actually hang out, right? And when you're in a cabin, it's you're either in front of the fire, on the sofa, reading a book, kind of making your breakfast or one of your meals, right? Or you're sleeping, right? There's only two states. You're either chilling or sleeping, and you're not really, spending a lot of time in your bedroom, right? So that's why, this floor plan, this design is like this, right? So that we really have kind of the most space possible for just kind of hanging out and chilling, right?
I remember before the place was even done, this was the spot that we'd put our blow-up mattress, and the whole family would just sleep right here on the floor, while we were building the cabin.
Right, exactly.
Which was kind of epic because we always had this large window opening that just stares right at the mountain. So we could literally see our future as we were waking up on the floor.
Right. I mean, we definitely, we got a little impatient, right? And we were just well, the cabin is a construction site, but we can still sleep in it.
We are living in New York City, and we just wanted to be outside and closer to trees and the sky. And I mean, yeah, we're eager beavers, but we needed to get here as soon as we could. So.
Yeah. And what you'll notice, right? We talked a little bit about, the foundation, the framing, the insulation, and the exterior cladding, but the inside, right? Our choices here were really around, inspired by trying to make the cabin, feel as minimal as possible in terms of the stuff that we have in it, or the stuff that we'd need to kind of make it feel, lived in, right? But at the same time, it's we wanted it to feel textured and beautiful, and that's why we chose, this plywood finish, right? Because it provided just so much kind of texture and warmth to the cabin without us having to put a bunch of knickknacks or doing anything ornate in terms of molding. And you know, we can just like sit here with like only a few items in the cabin, but you know, feel perfectly at home because of like the richness of you know, the materials that we chose, you know, for the walls and for the floor.
Yeah, and you can check out the kitchen here. It's pretty simple. I mean, we've got a mini fridge behind this beautiful reform veneer. What do you call that?
Yeah, reform panel.
All right, we've got a mini fridge behind this panel. We've got a sink. We've got a 2-burner induction stove. And then we've got some mechanicals that are just hidden behind these cabinets, which is actually cut from a single piece of pine. You can kind of see how the grain follows along across the whole length of the cabinet wall, which is one of my favorite features. And I think this guy cut those pieces out yourself, didn't you?
It's true. Yeah, I actually I cut them. I used what's called like a pocket hinge jig, right? And after a couple of like trial and error pieces, I would recommend this to anyone, right? Like, do not use the final material like that you intend to use, right? When you're just practicing a technique, right? Like, so, you know, use some scrap lumber, use something that's not going to make the final cut, right? And after a couple of tries, like I managed to like just get it like exactly right, and you know, was really proud of the outcome.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole interior space is plywood. I mean, we were pretty thrifty in our choices with that because we wanted it to look beautiful. We wanted that warmth and that natural wood grain. And we wanted to, you know, be able to use like a sort of affordable door and just like post a piece of plywood on the front of it and make it look really like seamless and beautiful with the rest of the space. Took us a couple days to sand all of this down with some pretty heavy sanders, and it was basically just a big sandstorm in here.
Yeah.
And then
we finished, you know, the floors with like a water-based poly, and you know, very, very like light poly coating on the walls. And you know, it's a low VOC product. We could just roll it on with paint roller, and it, you know, it was easy to use. It's easy to maintain over time, and also really affordable as a you know, kind of finishing stain as well. So that worked out really, really well for us.
Simple but luxurious living, and that is like that's a concept that really speaks to us as people. Our stove here is more so, and Mike touched on this as we were outside looking at the appliances, but this stove is, as you'll notice, like really positioned quite closely to the wall. They're always, you know, one of our #1 recommendations for wood burning stoves for small spaces.
You know, even though the space is like really minimal and simple, we didn't want to skimp on the comfort, right? And for us, there's like nothing more comfortable than a great like cozy couch. This was like one of our splurge items. You know, we went to Blue Dot and we were like, hey, like, you know, what's your most comfortable couch? I forgot the exact model name for this.
It's the Sunday
But
sofa.
like this, you know, just sitting down here, right? and you know, you guys can't see this right now because it's behind the camera, but like watching the view, watching the day unfold, and like the light change on the mountain is like what this cabin is all about, right? Like this is like our kind of happy place, like in the walls of you know, within the walls of this cabin. And like, it's when I work here, right? Like I feel inspired, and when I'm hanging here, I feel super relaxed. And like, this is the place, you know, this is the place that I feel my best, quite frankly. And yeah, you know, I can't wait to be able to share this with more people and like see what they think of sitting here in front of the mountains. But yeah, this couch is like, this couch has provided so many like fun and funny moments and relaxed times for our family. And we even like, you know, designed this space.
Very
like,
relaxed right now.
Yeah, super relaxed.